this pistol.
It's a whole new world. I really want to sing that like Disney song really badly, but I'm going to stop myself from doing so.
Strain yourself.
They're going the long way so as not to give the sound cues to a mid player by going down the stairs. Hopefully we're going to see some nice HEs down those stairs from the CT side later on, but of course the pistol must come first. Wiz will be the grenade man for EG. You can see him holding a pop flash here for Hext, who patiently waits, and now they realize that they've got problems coming their way. Instant frag here for Immort, and he will be traded, but XANTARES is here to keep the numbers up. Wiz will trade once again down to the 3-on-3, back at the site now, dancing around the smoke grenades, and that might allow this bomb to get planted.
Flank from Brehze, not successful. XFloud was waiting in the backlines, and that means EG have a hard retake on their hands here. Calyx will just stay in that corner while the other players look to try and take fights here on the EG side. They're spotting out opponents, but they're just not landing the frags. Calyx with another nice shot. And Wiz is not going to have an opportunity to win the round here. As long as they stay safe, there's no way in for him, and there's no way out either. XFloud with a nice shot, and a big B execute there from Eternal Fire. They had so much utility into that bomb site. Even though EG had a stack in play, it was just not enough to hold that off.
Indeed it wasn't. Love me some pistol headshots, and so do Eternal Fire. Numbers game prevailing there. Instant smoke, I would imagine, towards the mid area, although it could also be for the cave as well, for dark or electric, whatever you like to call it, depending on where you're from. Well then, EG, they have gone for the force buy once again. Wiz will be leaving the AWP money in the hole. There was an instant smoke for electric, as mid will be taken. Protocols being run by Eternal Fire as they take their map control.
Yeah, standard utility early. You oftentimes get a lot of nades traded in towards this area. CTs want to hold on to it, otherwise that B site can be split so easily. See a molly there to clear it out. Not as much utility in this round for EG, though, so they're going to have to rely on the firepower and the crossfires more than anything.
Well, this clock is running down a lot, actually.
It is.
With Hex holding a smoke grenade here, they could be in some trouble. They could be forced to go through this. This could really be awkward. We can see they're setting up for the split, and that might have to work out for them. But EG might have a few desperate seconds to rotate some players around. We can see XANTARES starting to creep. We know what he can do. But they've really got to wait out their smoke grenade. There's a flash from Hex. Not going to force forward. No one's firing just yet. So maybe it'll work out after all. Autimatic able to trade, but now the CTs are falling. And the threat has been eliminated. Didn't seem as uncomfortable for Eternal Fire as it felt watching, that's for sure. But they still need to plant the bomb just in time as Neelan takes down XANTARES. An AK to be collected now. And this could get somewhat more menacing for Eternal Fire, but Emor's got a very good angle. It's going to be hard for Brehze to deal with that one. That leaves Neelan with the scout. I think the worst is over for Eternal Fire as they try to survive this force buy from EG.
Ooh, Neelan with another nice shot. At least he's looking warm for EG, even if it is unlikely to lead to anything in the outcome of the round. Calyx will finally finish the job. So a bit of damage done to Eternal Fire, but all in all, a fairly comfortable round for them there. They had that split towards the A site. Just had enough time to be able to filter in from both different avenues. Really just needed the A main players more than anything. So a strong start for Eternal Fire here, proving why they picked this map. And not much for EG to work with in this one. Definitely nice to see some A play from Eternal Fire early in this one. Sometimes that site gets a little avoided.
Yeah, it's another one of those maps where A feels like B and B feels like A. Eternal Fire have played this map more often than any other in the last 3 months. And again, I think it's great to be an early adopter. Because some schools have thought that this map might go through significant changes, you know, looking at the history of overpass and such, but seems that it might not need that so much in the short term. Very mentally stimulating thus far. So another dry round then for EG. Mostly towards that B-bomb side, but we can see Hex there in isolation. So Eternal Fire is a great opportunity for them to warm up, basically. Winning that pistol proves quite significant for them. We still await to see what EG may have in mind for the first of their buy rounds. Lots of money being made with this MAC-10, and Calyx is looking to do the same.
Big flank round the back, and spots out both of those players. Calyx and XANTARES making good cash early, and it's not like there was too much damage done by EG in those subsequent rounds. So the economy for Eternal Fire is real nice right now. EG will be able to get their first buy on the board, though. I love that Hex tried to hide in that position. Maybe there's a chance that some lesser experienced Anubis teams wouldn't be fully aware. Eternal Fire are going to be wise to any tricks in that sort of low buy. Now some fast nades towards this B bomb site. I don't think we'll see the commitment, but a lovely lineup. How do you even do like 60 damage with a nade?
That is beautiful.
Oh, another!
That's such a nice grenade.
Jeez.
Is that a wry smile on Brehze's face? Like, oh, this is nice. We're in for some trouble here.
I wonder if you can get two different lineups to dunk them at the same time, because that would be ideal.
Beautiful grenade. Now, Anubis, I feel, is a map which encourages CT aggression. You can see Wiz and Hex over towards the A bomb site at the moment. I do wonder if there'll be plays later on. As you can see there, Major is keeping them honest in that regard. Very awkward angle to deal with. You can Molotov that position, though. But I think that's a dedicated play from the beginning of the round. 50 seconds remain in this one as Eternal Fire, part of their default, have gone for mid-presence again, and the threat of a split of the A-bomb site is rising. Yeah,
the reaction is not going to be easy here from EG. They don't have anyone in mid, so they can't really rotate that easily between the sites. And they're actually getting ahead of themselves somewhat here, EG. They're starting to rotate over to A, but Eternal Fire are just using that mid-presence to make EG scared and try and come back to B.
Neelan with the full spray, completely blind. Limited info for him as Brehze will try to do what he can, but 16 HP after those grenades. See how long his last... Oh, that Molotov hasn't gone the right way. Calyx is down, so is the bomb. Brehze just dancing, trying to buy every second he can. 8 seconds to plant that bomb, but can they find the angles to stop it? Not sure if Wiz will get an angle. Flashes are here. XFloud is so blind. Down he goes. And the retake is on, but again, XANTARES. The trades will be there for Hex, and EG will be on the board. They've won their first buy round 2, surviving as well.
Normally, XANTARES is terrifying in those positions where it's all about his aim. His first bullet accuracy can be incredible. This time, they limit him to just the 1 kill. And that was a pretty solid rotate from EG. I feel like the overall call from Eternal Fire was still solid. It's just this eventual push wasn't as effective as it needed to be on towards the site. You saw Brehze was able to isolate that first fight a little too easily. Took them a little too long to get out into the bomb site itself. And EG had a pretty nice flash to help set up that retake. That's what really made the difference. So good stuff from EG. Let's see if they can keep it up.
Yeah, very defensive setup from EG in that round. See how their formation changes over the course of this map of Anubis, especially for Brehze of how much damage he took. He's not going to want to receive that again, but look how much map control Calyx has got so early on. Very worrisome. This forces the CTs to burn a lot of utility as well. They're going for a retake of this position. Got to be nervous of the other side at the same time. And this early presence from Eternal Fire will set them up nicely later on towards that B bomb site should they want to pursue it. Because again, EG have been forced to burn their util early. They've been relying on these smokes in these initial rounds to try and delay Eternal Fire as much as possible. When those start to be lacking, will that force some aggression from them? We can see autimatic rotating over, in charge of passive angles towards mid. everywhere but where Calyx is standing. Punishing the reload for free. He might get Brehze as well. Brehze got so much to do now. They're pushing on both sides. He's going to have to fall back, surely.
Yeah, he's got 2 kills from this position, though, so that's already solid. Autimatic emerges through the smoke, but XANTARES lining up a couple of kills and bringing it back to even numbers here. Bomb should be planted. Hext is looking to make that move, but XANTARES with the molly. Hext stuck, forced back through the flames. And in the meantime, Immor's landed a frag of his own, so it's Hext in a 1-on-2. He knows the position of both players. He doesn't know how he can find these fights with the AWP. The nade would be big. He wants to bounce it back. It's not going to happen for him. And Eternal Fire lock in another round.
That early electric control really caused problems for EG. Brehze put in work to try and keep the round viable for them, but in the end, Eternal Fire able to overwhelm and get back to winning ways. The AWP retained for EG. But they're back to losing the rounds now. What a punish from Calyx. Just didn't spray the close wall through the smoke, and you've got to be so careful about reloading like that near a smoke where you're going to get punished. Sometimes it can be a bait. There can be multiple players there, but with the threat of the other side of the B-bomb sites as well, confident play through the smoke will break Evil Geniuses and put everybody on pistols apart from Wiz. Can we see this from Wiz's POV? Thank you very much. So, you can always win around with an AWP, but how do you get that AWP to work? Eternal Fire have been pretty consistent with their presence in mid. Wiz is going to have to take some risks. That can be having a teammate with a pistol swing for you, take the crosshairs away. He does have autimatic behind him, but he is going in relatively dry. No action where he is at the moment as he continues to swing through mid, though. You can see Eternal Fire focusing now, but see some risks being taken there, as they have to be. Wiz needs to try and find some kills before the pistols die. Still standing in mid, as it's target practice for Eternal Fire on this B-bomb site.
Yeah, nice shots into the B-bomb site. They had that deeper smoke into B as well. Sometimes you see teams smoke more closer to the obelisk on the site. That one was a little deeper, so it cut off that deep CT angle. It makes it so that you can flush out the angles on the site a little easier. Can be a more difficult way to take the site when the CTs have more counter utility or just crossfires across the bomb site. But when they have these weak weapons, you're pretty confident that you can just win your aim duels. And this is where you maybe don't need to hunt. At the same time, you wouldn't mind getting that AWP out of the hands of Wiz. Weirdly enough, though, Eternal Fire's money is nowhere near as good as you might expect. So I don't mind them just saving their 5 guns here. That's a pretty good way to go about it. And I always love it when the in-game leader on a team is winning like this, winning 5-1, and hasn't even had to get a kill. Mage's just been calling the strats, pulling the strings, and he's putting on a good puppet show right now.
We see a second AWP coming out for Evil Geniuses then. So a change in approach. But how will they post up with these? I feel like 2 AWPs, maybe they don't make an aggressive play, but post up with some angles. We can see Immor having a look towards mid. There's Neelan with his AWP. So he started quite aggressively at the very least. Eternal Fire, they've got time to play with. And eventually, you see, it feels like they're reading that at some point EG are going to want to make an aggressive play, as we often see. But it doesn't seem like it will be this round. Maybe waiting for some dry peaks for Eternal Fire. Was looking for a quick scope as Hecht once again will be holding the smoke down. So a responsive setup from EG, waiting for Eternal Fire to make their play.
Oh, that's a pretty nice smoke to disrupt that setup that EG wanted to run in this position. They wanted to have Hex there as the further forward player, and then the AWP back to trade at the teammate. That smoke makes it a lot more awkward here for the CTs. Flash will be nice. Wiz can now get established, but the molly comes in at just the right time, and he's a dead man.
Hex is in trouble now. I'm not sure how much support is coming. They're streaming. He could get 2. Dancing around, looking for the third in Calyx, but the trades will be there. Autimatic's made his way over. blind and fragged by XANTARES, down to a 2-on-2. Bomb getting planted as Nina looks to make some space for himself. Flashing through, but these angles are so awkward, especially with the elevation that the T's are afforded. They know where Neelan is now as that Molotov comes through. And XFloud will get the last two, 6-1 for Eternal Fire. A strong start to a favorite pick of Anubis for Eternal Fire.
Yeah, this looks so clean from them. The protocols on all the nades are fantastic. And I do kind of agree with you where I thought we were going to see some EG CT aggression at some point. I feel like you have to make Eternal Fire uncomfortable, especially with what we've seen so far, because these rounds look incredibly convincing. We'll see if EG have that aggression available to them. They have that in their strat book. For now, it is a weakened buy here. Got this double A setup again from EG. Major helping with a flash over mid. Yeah, Hext is hoping he can use this close angle. Sometimes this might be overlooked, but Calyx able to adjust and make it a second entry. Clean as you like. The bomb is actually back here with XFloud, and he goes down. So that makes it just a little awkward. But they've still got to frag out pretty heavily on the EG side to have a chance here.
Yeah, the bomb's quite well hidden away. Unbeknownst to EG, it is just around the corner from where they are. But at this point, they might want to just hold on to this AK-47. But the longer the bomb's not planted, you do have to start to wonder, is the bomb nearby? Is there something we want to consider making a play for it? Maybe the AK is more valuable, though. You can see Major creeping around, support flash from Emor. And off they go. But indeed, EG are on a pilgrimage. Wiz surely is soon to be expired. Then Neelan has a decision to make. Do you want an AK or do you want an M4? Might feel like they're hunting him, having not planted a bomb just yet. And now we've got 20 seconds and the bomb's not even on the bomb side, but Calyx has a tight enough angle to deal with the threat. 7-1 for Eternal Fire. EG take nothing from that round into this one.
Yeah, Calyx having a really good start to this game. He's another one who has had a pretty interesting career. I know for a little while there, he was playing on all sorts of teams outside of the Turkish scene. He went to Windigo briefly. Then he was playing on Envy over in America for a bit. He's had a long and tumultuous journey before coming back to the Turkish scene, where he was initially a rising talent back in sort of 2018. Definitely has a very high skill ceiling. You can see his sort of snappy aim style. That second headshot very well placed. And he's definitely someone to watch out for alongside XANTARES. Those were always the two Turkish players that made you feel like this sort of team would be possible. And that is a big smoke lineup from Major out of spawn. Okay, that's the smoke that lands on the inside here, so it makes it really difficult for the CTs to control this early.
Neelan! Neelan!
Nades. Brehze should have told you. Be careful. Yeah, that gets you so much control, that smoke. That's so nice.
It really is. And it just forces them to burn so much utility themselves. Is less than ideal. That's an important lineup to know for the CT side for sure. So finally something going EG's way in terms of this 5-on-4. Neelan will be very careful with his reloads though. Has an extra weapon to use as well. And now Major will be focusing on that. There's a minute on the clock for Eternal Fire to make their play. No presence towards the A bomb site. So hard for EG to quietly figure that out though, especially with that elevated position. Really need a Molotov for that spot. But again, EG are staying passive and they're going to sit on their advantage. Playing like the England football team, scored one goal. Just try and hold on to that one rather than score another.
The execute looks like it's at the ready. Counter incendiary, well timed from Brehze. Now they can focus more towards B long. And Eternal Fire feel like they have just enough time to wait this out. But those smokes will start to fade soon if they're not careful. That flash not good enough. And Neelan, nice angle, hits the headshot. Finally, he falls, but there's another player who's arrived on the rotate. XANTARES might have to fight his way out of this one, and Imor's alongside him. They need the bomb plant. 4 seconds. I think they have it, but it's Imor who has to clutch around the obelisk.
He's got half the info. He has an idea of where Wiz is. Shotgun mode now as Emor starts to move forward, making some space for himself. They know he's close now, and Hex will start to get closer as well. Both with defuse kits for EG. Emor down to the Tech-9, trying to play close, but not finding anyone just yet. They could go for the straight defuse here if they figure out where he is. He's been spotted now. Hex is going to swing and deliver that frag. Much needed second round for Evil Geniuses. We'll see if they pick up a second AWP as well. But they're back to winning ways. Costly losing 3 players, but it's the score that counts.
Yeah, and a pretty solid hold all in all in that round. And sometimes that ult can have a pretty good chance there when playing around that B bomb site. Seen some big clutches from that position. Obviously, Dexter's springs to mind. But this time round, unfortunately for Imor, even though he got away to a pretty good position, just not able to land that first shot. Still pretty impressive that Eternal Fire brought that round close. And this time we got a molly from XCloud into that similar position. That's allowing Eternal Fire to get up close early. They might just go for a quick B play here.
Oh, that's absolutely brutal. A 2-man swing, and Brehze is surely going to get traded by Emor. Indeed, he is abusing the numbers game, Eternal Fire. I love the pace of this play from them. That is quite the response. A dynamic Eternal Fire we're seeing on Anubis. Again, it's been passive after passive from EG. Still waiting for some kind of aggressive play to take the game to Eternal Fire. But that was a great change of pace. And again, there's so much pressure towards that B bomb site. And there's nothing else for them to do in this round. Just got to fall back and try and hold on to what they have.
I would love to hear from Eternal Fire whether that was something they sort of planned for earlier in this game, because they've been nading that same position towards B so many times, putting that smoke down. They've basically been stopping EG from playing down towards that angle. And you saw the exact angle Nealon was playing was a bit further back, where he felt like he would dodge those nades that have been coming in. And that's kind of what allowed Eternal Fire to just run up into that position so quickly. There was a molly in front of Nealon, so he couldn't challenge aggressively. They just swung towards him with such confidence there on the Eternal Fire side. Beautifully done. Lovely pace change in that round. Unfortunately for Evil Geniuses, they don't seem to have a handle on this game right now. I think this is more Eternal Fire just playing fantastically, though, right now.
Yeah, they look like a well-oiled machine. But again, EG, well, Hex and Wiz are edging further forward on the A bomb site. But Nealon and co will have to try and delay elsewhere. Again, they are surrounded by Eternal Fire. They'll surely hear that tagging. Nealon has the least fun position on this CT side thus far. So we can see Wiz has taken a much more aggressive angle than we've seen him play before.
Doesn't look like he'll get the chance initially, but Eternal Fire just making noise elsewhere. Wiz has tucked back slightly. Smoke has just been deployed into the A bomb site as well, and mid is wide open. Hext is just playing for info, but now that he spots them, he's got to be careful. He's gone down. It's Wiz who drops the bomb, though, and that could be big here. He can turn back. More fights coming his way. With 34 seconds remaining, the backup is arriving. The AWP doesn't need to do more. All the rifles getting into play. It's Calyx who's had a great game so far, but he's got 25 seconds to get that bomb back. He's just scared of this flanking player. He's desperately looking for another kill. I think that means he will have to just concede this round at this point.
He could just go for kills, at least, because XANTARES is short, but somebody can drop him, and there's absolutely value to be had in just trying to frag as many CTs as possible, keep them as poor as possible. He will die just after time, I think. So that won't happen. But certainly with the run they're having, there was some value to be squeezed there. So Evil Geniuses get their third round on the board. Wiz taking down the bomb carrier and the support. There'll be money for Eternal Fire, so the AKs will keep coming, the action will keep coming. And Eternal Fire, they've been showing depth in their T-strats in terms of their timing, harassing Neelan in the electric position. EG now with 3 players over towards B. Hext alone on A on this occasion. And again, Eternal Fire are looking for what they must feel must be an eventual push somewhere by EG. It doesn't seem to be happening just yet.
There's a couple of mid-mollies. XANTARES able to swing behind them. And EG have been willing to give up mid in a lot of these rounds. Oh, Immortal waits for the aggression. Finally, EG trying to change up the pace, but it doesn't pay off for them. Orb has been recovered by Neelan, but you have to wonder whether that B site could be under pressure now. Neelan's trying to swing out into the spots the shoulder, but Calyx takes him down, and now you have to feel like Eternal Fire will strike. Solid trade onto the B site. And they might just take this B site completely. The response from EG not here quickly enough.
Eternal Fire seem one step ahead in this half, especially after the faster aggression we saw. Maybe trying to bait an aggressive response from EG, sitting there and punishing them for trying. So indeed, this is looking very fruitful for Eternal Fire at present. They're probably heading for a 12-3 scoreline unless EG can do something to turn things around. They get the odd round here and there, but again, they're always at the mercy of Eternal Fire's control and decisions. Well, they don't really have the money to... We'll see what the next round looks like for EG, because I'm thinking surely they wouldn't go for an aggressive round again, but then maybe that's the reason to do it. If they have some kind of execute, especially to be aggressive towards A. It's essentially an execute to push through with the utility required. Let's see what they choose to do.
Yeah, it's tough, man. I feel like that's a round where EG try a bit of CT aggression, a little switch up with this push. But Himmel's in the perfect place to just deal with it. Even if Eternal Fire take these slow defaults, EG aren't able to go for the aggressive plays to disrupt them. Ooh, man. Damage traded, almost even. This B site has been so solid for Eternal Fire when they've tried to take it. And in so many of these rounds, EG are happy to play 2 players over towards A. But that's not always the standard setup for CTs. Sometimes you might just want to play a little further back on that side. There's a bit of counter utility onto XANTARES. Not giving away mid so easily. Pretty big risk taken by EG here, stacking so heavily towards A. Wonder if we see any aggression from them on that side of the map. Might not matter because Eternal Fire are starting to set up outside B. And it's still a pretty committed setup here from EG. This is going to be so hard to hold.
Yeah, Brehze has a smoke. They've got the molly for the electric room to try and delay. And we can see that push is coming. It's edging forward from EG, but with 40 seconds left, they've got to get off to the races. They don't have any eyes on mid. We've got Hex still stuck on the other side of the map at present, and the frags are starting to come through. Brehze needed something from that with 0 from 2 opportunities, and now the bomb site's been taken. A long flank all the way through T-spawn, and Hex is lost in the meantime. So the aggression was there, but not fast enough, unfortunately. Too much risk. So you don't blame the hesitation. But there's no one on the radio for Wiz and autimatic. They're all gone already. People will hunt for the rest of them. Quick flick from autimatic. And XANTARES is there for the trade. They lose everything once again, and the CT side is looking dire for EG as far as the score is concerned.
Calyx feeling it, man. 18 kills on the board. His aim looks crisp as always. And for EG, I was expecting them maybe to just play a retake setup on B in this sort of round. But I think they just couldn't adjust quickly enough. They felt pretty committed to the site itself. It is now pistols again for the CTs in this one. It's been a fantastic display from Eternal Fire. That is unexpected. They didn't realize Hex was so far forwards. At least able to trade 1-for-1, even if Calyx took a lot of damage in the process.
If he had a 5-7 there, I think he gets 2 frags.
Yeah, I could see it.
You just can't spam the deagle like you used to be able to. Quite an impressive change in that regard. Got to hit those headshots.
I'm kind of glad for that change.
Yeah, I am sad because now it exposes me as a bad player even more. But
Yeah.
it is a change for the better overall. Just a reminder for those at home, this is the mid bracket. The loser heads to the lower bracket. After that, you're donezo if you lose another game. So the urgency is rising. And the deficit is rising for EG. There's been a hard CT side versus a very adept Eternal Fire with different paces that we've seen from them. Slow rounds and fast. Different aggressions towards Electric. On B, waiting for that eventual aggression and punishing EG for it. Full control from Eternal Fire in this first half.
They are going to be going into the stack in this round. Nice shot from Brehze. Still more players on the bomb site to deal with. XANTARES. It's that player behind the site itself, but it's autimatic to strike from the side. And Calyx simply doesn't have the time. So autimatic's D comes through. EG finally find another round. 4th on the board. And it comes down to the time being low. A good, well-placed stack from EG. And a couple of nice shots at the right time.
Not too shabby at all. Those rounds could certainly be helpful. Again, not something you can replicate, but they need every round they can get at the moment. And maybe that will have an impact later on. Last round of the first half then. And they've got a pretty good buy, EG. 2 AK-47s as well. Neelan could certainly use one of those. And I think in terms of the positions the CTs are playing, if there's one AK to go around, surely you give it to the player playing that electric spot, because it is such a rough ride there, especially against a team like Eternal Fire, who have taken the time out for the time being. Any edge he can get there will certainly be helpful.
Yeah, EG here. Hoping to get at least a 5th round on the board. It's a round for Eternal Fire that they would like back after running into the stack so late. But all in all, it has been a pretty damn good half for them, so can't really complain. And we got a lot of that early utility out from Eternal Fire, trying to make it difficult for EG to challenge some of these positions. Wiz trying to play through it in mid this time. Oh, he landed the shot, but it was through the door. And XANTARES' headshot hits harder.
Bomb's just holding an angle outside B, waiting for a push. And Neelan knows that trouble may be coming his way once again. There's a pop flash. Calyx shows an elbow. And does Neelan go for a dry peek to catch him? There's so many players here just waiting. I love how he didn't commit to the frag there. Just wanted to get the information, see how safe or dangerous it was. And boy, was it dangerous. Doesn't even get all the info there, but he knows that they are waiting. They have time on the clock now, but that time is starting to run low. We're getting towards that 40-second mark. And now Hex has a lot of trouble coming his way. He's got autimatic in the back, but how many frags is he good for? Will he be pre-aimed by Calyx here? You can see the crouching coming through. Down he goes. Immor will show the bomb, and autimatic will smoke them off.
24 seconds. Oh, they found the entry. Immor able to get that onto autimatic. Neelan does clear Major out on the other side of the map, but this is such a strong position for Eternal Fire. They can play the post plant. They've got low health XANTARES on the AWP, hoping to lock it down. There's no nades for EG for this retake.
More spots one. Brehze makes it a 2-on-2 though. Neelan has the kit. They've got to coordinate that correctly as this time starts to tick. First they've got to find Xfloud. Brehze still alive for now, but the Stereo Ferrex come through. And it will be 11 rounds for Eternal Fire at halftime. A monstrous start from them, but it's all about how you finish, and that comes after the break.
That's that RMG. I'm awake, I'm alive. I am the cake and the prize. I've been feeling energized. I ain't into telling lies. Got a draw like Enterprise. I ain't tripping off of pride. I've been in my bag. I ain't really gotta brag. I was posting on the app. See they getting mad. I be dripping with the swag. I be dripping with the sauce. I don't care what it costs. I might take a loss. That's the price of a boss. I might pull up like a horse. 911 on the Porsche. I've been bowling like a sport. I've been bowling like LeBron. With some women hella fine. I ain't into wasting time. I've been on my grind. I've been trying to shine. Hold up. Better don't stop. Better don't stop. 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 It's that real life Avengers. I be really in the trenches. I done came up off the benches. I be really getting splinters. I ain't tripping off an image. I be rocking something vintage. Pop up with the spinach. I ain't here to let you finish. In the booth, I'm a menace. I'm the truth and the chemist. I be pushing all the limits. I ain't never moving timid. I be really in my bag. I be dripping with the swag. I might pull up like a cab. Somewhere where the birds chirp. I be on the moon. I might mess around the curve Earth. I be on the moon. I might mess around the curve Earth. I be on the moon. I might mess around the curve Earth. I be on the moon. I might mess around the curve Earth. I be on the moon, I might mess around the curve. I be on the moon, I might mess around it. Hold up. Better don't stop. Better don't stop. 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 Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. She said that she hate me. I hate me too. I can always tell when you lie. My God, he's a firework! The best in the game.
Welcome back. We need to see some rounds on this new side for Evil Geniuses. The CT side was a struggle. We saw great stuff from Eternal Fire. Very, very interesting change-up of strats. And when the Evil Geniuses eventually tried to get aggressive, they were punished for it. It was a great half indeed, as you can see from the score, 11-4, as far as the Eternal Fire are concerned. But for Evil Geniuses, we need to see that genius as they head to the T side.
Feel like you're trying to be the EG hype man. Get them excited for this one. They need it right now. We got some aggression instantly from Eternal Fire. Out through mid, they've got all the information, and that means Xfloud has to be prepared. And he's happy to play retake here. They've got that kit available to them. They've got a big flank coming in from Major. Brehze has spotted that out, though, and here's the boost, but Xfloud holds his nerve. Good start there on the hold. And they'll see if they can put together this retake.
autimatic with a great angle. Oh, maybe not so great after all. Took one in the face, but Neelan's here to clean up the mess. Emor with 2 pistols might not be enough versus these 3 players of Evil Geniuses, though, who take the pistol. Finally, saw them lose a few yesterday, but they will trade pistols in the first game of this series. We can see Overpass is the second map. Nuke should have decided to be required. Now, this is a great start. We want to see what Evil Geniuses can do. They're starting in the right way by winning the pistol. No force buy from Eternal Fire just yet. We did see EG take a force buy after losing the pistol in the first half. Eternal Fire, though, have a different plan. So some contrasting approaches on the CT, going 0-1 in the half. No crazy stack we see here from Eternal Fire. 3 players on A, though. Them jump peeking from Calyx. They'll be punished by Neelan. And again, these are all tests now. I think we've got the magnifying glass out on EG just to see what the protocols are like. What are the executes versus buys? How do they deal with the anti-ecos, maybe anti-force buys later on? We need to see attention to detail progress for this squad.
Yeah, that's what we're looking for. And Neelan's having a pretty solid game here. He's a pretty decent fragging in-game leader, gotta say. 14 frags coming through with a nice bit of impact there in the pistol. And here comes autimatic, cleaning up those kills, farming those stats. That's always good for the confidence. Himmel's just trying to play this annoying angle. I like it. I like it. See if someone strays too far. See if they try and hunt you down. EG players want those stats right now, want to improve their KD. Oh, Emor not able to land the shots this time, though. So that round goes as expected. But Eternal Fire saved for this one. Let's see if it is successful for them.
1 round at a time. But the real test will begin in this one. Eternal Fire going for a more or less of a clean eco. They won't have an AWP, but they'll have enough utility. There are choices available to them, and I do wonder if we'll see something aggressive. 2 towards mid, maybe. XANTARES alone towards that A-bomb site. Let's see how they cope with the carnage that Neelan had to deal with here. Neelan still on the receiving end, it seems. Taking a fat nade down to 56 HP.
XANTARES playing ahead of his own smoke here. Seeing if he can make the most of that, but Wiz actually able to get that kill in the end. Combining with Hext for that opener. Now there has to be some adjustment on the CT setup. See XANTARES taking up the hold towards A. And a Major will plug the gap towards mid. For EG, they're happy with the 5v4.
Yeah, speaking of mid, this is the mid to late round where yesterday we saw EG kind of lose grip somewhat because we saw this kind of aggressive response from the teams they were playing against. And we're seeing the same thing from Eternal Fire. They've taken their presence and they've disappeared, and now Eternal Fire have all the info they need, and they are surely about to lose some players. Hex is trying to cover the back, but he's in the red, and now they know Eternal Fire have all the information. It's probably a stack they're running into. With the time on the clock, though, what choice might they have? Books are still up and they're forcing their way through. Look at that peek from autimatic to try and get something done here. Major still in situ, drops the bomb in Wiz, and autimatic will trade again. Down to the 1 versus 2 versus XANTARES with the robot aim. autimatic with 2 HP. They won't even plant the bomb. And this is one of the tests for EG, because I feel like it's the mid round where things disappear from them. They're like, all right, we've done this. Then everything slows down to a grind. And their opponent, even at disadvantage, sees it as an opportunity. They're proactive, they find gaps, and then this happens.
Yeah, it's just that nice timing for the mid-round aggression that the other teams seem to be able to find, and EG just don't seem to be able to figure that out. Great timing on the push from XANTARES, gets so much info. And EG even overlooked the fact that there's going to be one more player already in position on that B bomb site. They didn't realize there was one more man lying in wait, so they try and plant the bomb way too soon. It ended up being the freest of frags for Major. which definitely makes a difference. Buys a bit more time for XANTARES on the rotate. They still don't have that bomb down. XANTARES cleans it up. This is still a chance for EG, though. Look at the buys between the two teams, because the last round was so close. That CT economy can be hard to manage sometimes. So they've got 3 MP9s into this round.
I do wonder about situations like that, if there's too much structure for EG to be more dynamic in a situation which might favor it. If it's partly an experience thing with the younger players where they might not know what opportunities there might be. They might not have that idea in their heads of where all the CTs might be. But that is something that their opponent uses as an opportunity, even in a 4 versus 5. Certainly around EG were looking good in until they weren't, of course. They have an execute of their own in this mid position. XANTARES swinging through it. Sees nothing in mid. This is going to slow down the plans of EG, I'm sure.
Flash forces XANTARES off the angle. He is going to get away, and Major actually was able to get that kill through the smoke at mid with the MP9. That is brutal for autimatic. Jump peeking for info here. That'd be dangerous, but Brehze unable to pull the trigger. And EG had that bomb towards B. Decide to take their time, move back. Now with that kill from Hex, they might come back to this B site, though.
30 seconds on the clock. They better be synchronized. Hex is in a sandwich. The timing from Eternal Fire, the pushes again, so much more aggression we're seeing from them. Major with the MP9 dancing. How do you calm all these CT angles? XFloud alone now on the flank, coming in from the back in this 1 versus 2. With that Unicorn MP9, this time EG plant the bomb, but will anybody have an angle here? Of course not. There's too many places to cover. Neelan trying to identify where Brehze is, and the MP9 will be enough. Bombs planted, but the round's not won. And XFloud will take Eternal Fire to 13.
Oh, the MP9 is so good, man. If you can control the spray, it just fires so fast. It's like a lawnmower. It just cuts them down. And another clutch against EG. I mean, these are brutal rounds because EG did so much work to swing that back into their favor. They were running into a 3-man stack on B. The fact that they brought it to this position looked so good. And then XFloud just does that to you. And you have to try and bounce back again. We've got an AUG out from Calyx. See that too often nowadays. I like where the AUG is at. I feel like you see it very occasionally, and that's how much I want to see it, personally.
Yes, agree. It has a certain use case. The red dot on top. Lovely. Need to get myself one of those. On the Picatinny rail. Eternal Fire.
I'm still an AUG player myself, for what it's worth.
I love the AUG. The problem is I forget to buy one a lot of the time. Have a look at this creep in from EG. Hex is able to trade, and that AUG is made to have a very awkward situation. Calyx able to unscope and still get the frag, though. You could feel the awkwardness in that duel. What is happening there? Hex gave one away for free. XANTARES annihilates all of them. That's an embarrassing way to lose a round. Not sure what else to say about that one. Cannot make assumptions like that. Jump through Electric, the most contested spot maybe on the map, with a grenade in your hand, post plant, and away you go. Just like that, a lightning retake from Eternal Fire. What just happened?
Also, you give XANTARES the inch there. You give him the first free kill, and he's like, yeah, okay, you gave me the free fight, and now I'm just going to hit all the headshots. Yeah, I don't know, like, EG just snuck into B. It looked good. And then for some reason, they weren't ready for anyone to rotate. I don't know, man.
They've been flanked every round. Yeah, that's like when you're playing like Street Fighter on your local arcade and you think you're the top don. You go to Japan, and then everything you do gets punished. You're like, oh, I didn't know I couldn't do that, you know? It's kind of one of those situations.
Realize it's a whole different game.
That was a pretty bad one. That was a pretty bad one indeed. Again, they have the evidence of all the flanks that we've seen from Eternal Fire pushing through the A bomb site constantly. They do seem the more polished team, more capable team on Anubis. That kind of been too much of a surprise.
Oh, Molly out from Calyx. Doesn't actually get the initial kill, but he'll make up for it with some clean shots, some clean taps. He takes over as the top fragger yet again for Eternal Fire. 15-6 for them now. We were saying earlier that the scoreline is unlikely to be worse than yesterday for EG, but this is pretty similar right now. They've done one round better than yesterday. Maybe they can get a few more, but it's not looking great for them.
Major chilling with 4 kills. I wonder how many flashes he's served up. Oh, we're seeing that push from Eternal Fire on that A bomb site as well. This is the kind of action that we just never saw from EG.
Oh, this
maybe
utility.
It's really, really good. It requires it. Maybe it was a molly into a smoke up top to just take the map away. However, EG have found their way onto the B bomb site. Question is, can they hold it? That Molotov will certainly help, but they're down to 3 players now and they have to get that bomb planted very quickly indeed.
Oh, he's so blind. He's so blind, man. XANTARES gonna get that kill all day long. It's just Hex remaining. He's got 1 frag, but he's got to get 2 more. Bomb may be recoverable. It's got some utility, but oh, they're gonna swing him at just the right time. Eternal Fire take it 16-6. A comprehensive showing for them here on their map pick.
I think comprehensive is certainly a great word to describe that, especially with the contrast as well. They just had way more depth to their plays. Again, we saw the general lack of aggression on the CT side for Evil Geniuses. They had that one round where they had some timid aggression that was punished. So that was a very hard Anubis indeed. It's break time. We'll see.